Apparently, dolphins chatted up like you and me. For the first time, researchers claim to have recorded a pair of dolphins having a conversation. They said they found dolphins have a highly developed spoken language.
Did you know dolphins may have been hiding secrets that could have changed the course of World War II? Scientists chased their strange clicks and whistles for decades, clues to a language we couldn't break. But now, a revolutionary AI called Dolphin Gemma has cracked the code. And what was uncovered left the world stunned.
According to the study published last month, dolphins speak by creating pulses or whistles. It said they form words by changing the frequency and level of pulses.
Buried inside their ancient songs were modern-day warnings, messages about our planet that humans were never meant to ignore. Stay with us as we dive deep into what the AI discovered. The dawn of a new voice. Dolphins don't just make noise. They speak in whistles, clicks, and rapid bursts of sound that can mean life or death. Each sound is carefully crafted, aimed at specific individuals or moments. They call to their family members with unique, unmistakable signatures, and sometimes entire pods create a symphony, a chorus of voices moving as one. These are not simple calls. They are messages, bonds, even songs, hidden beneath the waves. But sound is only half the story. Dolphins speak with their bodies too. A powerful leap, a tail slap against the surface, or the sudden pop of a head above water. These movements carry meaning. They warn of danger, reveal the location of food, or express emotions as vivid as joy, fear, or rage. In their world, every movement, every sound, is part of a complex conversation, a language we are only beginning to understand. Humans first tried to decode this language in the 1960s. Surprisingly, it was the U.S. Navy that led the charge, attempting to teach dolphins to mimic human sounds. They mapped whistles to vowel sounds, hoping for two-way communication. The dolphins responded, even answered back, but it wasn't a true language, not yet. The complexity, the meaning, and the full story were still out of reach. The focus then shifted. Instead of speaking to dolphins, researchers began listening. They cataloged clicks, whistles, and buzzes, hunting for patterns. Then came a revelation. Bottlenose dolphins have signature whistles, unique calls that act like names. Each dolphin had its own voice, its own identity. Suddenly, the underwater world felt alive with conversation, personality, and connection. Since 1985, Dr. Denise Herzing has dedicated her life to this mystery.
Now, I'm interested in dolphins because of their large brains and what they might be doing with all that brain power in the wild. And we know they use some of that brain power for just living complicated lives.
Through her Wild Dolphin project, she studies Atlantic spotted dolphins in their natural habitat, recording decades of behavior, social interactions, and vocalizations. Using cutting-edge tools like Dolphin Gemma, her team catalogs these sounds, searching for patterns, meanings, and the very structure of a language that is still largely hidden from us. Every whistle, every click, every leap, they aren't random. They're chapters in a story we've only just begun to read. Each movement is a word in a language hidden beneath the waves. And now, with technology pulling back the curtain, a shocking truth begins to surface. What did Dr. Denise and her team uncover? What does the AI say? Have dolphins been speaking to us all along, and we just never listened? The message revealed. Thanks to the groundbreaking work of Dr. Denise Herzing and the Wild Dolphin Project, we are finally beginning to understand the dolphin's incredible language. Dr. Herzing's team has been working for decades to bridge the gap between humans and dolphins. Their bold idea was simple in concept, but revolutionary in execution. Instead of trying to instantly decode the full complexity of dolphin speech, they would start with a shared vocabulary, a basic set of words that both humans and dolphins could understand. This led to the creation of the cetacean hearing and telemetry system. Imagine an underwater computer system worn like a device on the body, equipped with a hydrophone to hear dolphin whistles and an earpiece for the researcher to listen in real time. Alongside this, the team invented an acoustic keyboard, a set of artificial whistles, each representing a different object or concept. One whistle could stand for a type of seaweed called sargassum, another for a particular fish, another for a playful action. The magic happened when the dolphins themselves began to mimic these sounds. Researchers would play a whistle while showing the corresponding object to the dolphins, hoping the animals would form a connection. Then, when a dolphin copied the whistle, the chat device would translate it, playing the corresponding English word directly into the researcher's earpiece. In 2013, the project had a breakthrough moment that would change everything. A dolphin mimicked the whistle for sargassum. The computer recognized it instantly and spoke the word into Dr. Herzing's earpiece. It was a small step, but a historic one. For the first time, a dolphin's sound was translated into human language in real time. Yet mimicry does not equal understanding. Dr. Herzing is quick to point out that this doesn't mean dolphins grasp words as humans do, but it was proof that a conversation could eventually be possible. And since that first success, technology has propelled the project into uncharted territory. Advanced AI and machine learning are now being used to analyze the natural sounds of dolphins, detect patterns, and even begin to uncover the structural complexity of their communication. The team has amassed the largest collection of dolphin vocalizations in history, over 100 petabytes of data combined. This massive archive spans decades and records clicks, whistles, and buzzes from dolphin pods all around the world. Initially, for the first 18 months, the AI's results were modest. It could recognize individual dolphins by their signature whistles, essentially their names, and link certain sounds to behaviors. A series of clicks might mean fish here. A low hum might signal danger. It was fascinating, but it wasn't a conversation. It was more like understanding that a dog's bark can mean different things. The Wild Dolphin Project wasn't satisfied with understanding barks. They were chasing something far more extraordinary. Dolphins have brains larger than humans, with a cerebral cortex more intricately folded than our own. This suggested an intelligence capable of thoughts, ideas, and possibly language. The breakthrough came on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. The team had developed a new deep learning architecture designed to do more than spot patterns. It was built to detect syntax, the underlying rules of grammar. They fed the AI, now called Dolphin Gemma, the entire half-century dataset of dolphin sounds. For 72 hours, the system worked tirelessly, analyzing, correlating, and decoding the patterns in the ocean's symphony. Then it happened. A single, coherent translation appeared on the screen. It wasn't fish or danger. It was a concept, a structured idea, a thought conveyed in sound. Dolphin Gemma began translating at an astonishing rate. The AI revealed that dolphin communication wasn't linear like human speech. It was three-dimensional, layered, and intricate. Dolphins used echolocation not only to navigate, but to communicate complex ideas about their world. As the AI improved, it began to piece together the dolphin's memories, a kind of oral history passed from mother to calf across thousands of generations. Dolphins remembered specific events, social interactions, and even environmental changes spanning decades. They could recall who they had met, where, and under what circumstances. Their memory extended far beyond anything previously imagined in non-human species. Through careful analysis, Scientists began cross-referencing dolphin memories with human historical and geological records. What they discovered was mind-blowing. Dolphins spoke of the volcanic eruption that formed the Santorini caldera in 1600 BC. They recounted migrations of early humans across the Bering Strait. They had names for underwater landmarks that had been submerged for over 10,000 years. Names passed down through 400 generations of dolphins. This realization shattered long-held human assumptions. Humanity, with its books, monuments, and written history, had always assumed it was the sole keeper of knowledge. But here, in the ocean, an intelligence older and perhaps wiser than our own had been recording the story of the planet in its own way, through sound, memory, and social transmission. AI has become indispensable in this research. Not only does it accelerate the deciphering of dolphin communication, but it also reveals the extraordinary cognitive abilities of these creatures. Dolphins possess what scientists call episodic memory, the ability to recall specific details of past events, even decades later. They can use this information to solve complex problems, anticipate future situations, and plan. They are, in essence, remembering their world as we do, and using that memory to navigate life with intelligence and foresight. The chat interface, combined with AI, has transformed decades of dolphin data into something extraordinary. The first real window into a non-human civilization. Every click, every whistle, every sequence of sound is a piece of a vast, living language. It's a language that carries culture, history, and identity. Dolphins aren't just animals, they are archivists, historians, and communicators, swimming through the oceans with a knowledge we are only beginning to understand. This isn't just science, it's a revelation. For centuries, we've watched dolphins as playful companions, leaping beside ships, dancing in the surf, and dazzling us with their intelligence. But they are not just entertainers of the sea. They are thinkers, storytellers, and silent witnesses to history itself. Through the groundbreaking work of Dr. Herzing, her team, and the unmatched power of AI, the ocean has begun to whisper its secrets. We are finally learning to hear what dolphins have been saying for thousands of years. Messages carried in clicks, whistles, and movements hidden beneath the waves. But this is only the beginning. Because the deeper the scientists listened, the stranger the discoveries became. What they uncovered next was more shocking than anyone ever imagined. The hidden depths of dolphin language. As scientists pushed deeper into the mystery of dolphin communication, they began to uncover something that few ever expected. What started as a study of whistles, clicks, and leaps soon revealed an entirely different world, one that mirrored human language in ways that were both astonishing and unsettling. At first, researchers thought dolphins were simply exchanging practical signals, warnings of predators, directions toward food, or calls to gather family members. But as the analysis grew more advanced, a startling realization emerged. Dolphins weren't just exchanging information, they were expressing ideas. They were speaking in idioms.
Researchers said the results of the study lead them to believe toothed whales have a similar, highly developed spoken language. But not so fast. Some scientists are skeptical.
Idioms are phrases whose meanings go beyond the literal words, something humans rely on every day. When we say, "break the ice," or "a blessing in disguise," the words alone don't tell the full story. The meaning lies beneath them. And dolphins, it turned out, had the same ability. One phrase kept appearing in the recordings, repeated across multiple pods. When run through Dolphin Gemma, the AI translator, it came out as singing with the tide. At first, it sounded poetic, almost too human, but the more the team studied it, the clearer it became. This was their way of saying, "go with the flow," or accept what cannot be changed. Another phrase, chasing the silver cloud, carried an even deeper meaning. It referred to pursuing an opportunity, something rare and valuable but often risky. In human terms, it was like saying, nothing ventured, nothing gained. These discoveries shook the scientific world. It meant dolphin language was not just functional, it was metaphorical. It showed abstract thought, creativity, and even philosophy hidden beneath the waves. Dolphins were not just surviving. They were reflecting, teaching, and sharing wisdom through stories of their own. But this was only the beginning. When researchers started comparing recordings from pods across the world, another layer of complexity appeared: regional dialects. Just as humans in different places develop distinct words, accents, and slang, dolphins do the same. A Caribbean pod might have one whistle for shark, while a pod in Australia used a completely different sound for the exact same predator. Even more surprising, these differences went beyond vocabulary. Some pods organized their sounds in unique sequences, creating variations in grammar and syntax. This wasn't just a matter of accent, it was culture. Dolphins in different oceans had evolved their own linguistic traditions, passed down through generations. Understanding one pod's speech didn't guarantee understanding another. In some cases, scientists found themselves translating the same idea twice, once from dolphin to human, and again from one dolphin dialect to another. It was a challenge unlike anything linguistics had ever faced. And then came the most surprising discovery of all: overlapping speech. Humans are limited to linear speech, one word after another, one sentence at a time. But dolphins, they break that rule completely. Using specialized organs in their heads, they can produce multiple vocalizations at once, layering clicks, whistles, and bursts of sound together in perfect harmony. To human ears, it sounded like a blur of noise, but to dolphins, it was second nature, an advanced system of multi-channel communication. Imagine being able to tell a friend where the food is, warn them of a shark, and express excitement all at the same time. That's what dolphins do. And in their world, where speed, coordination, and survival are everything, this ability is not just clever, it's life-saving. For years, humans struggled to make sense of this complexity. But when Dolphin Gemma was unleashed on the recordings, the impossible became possible. The AI was able to separate, decode, and interpret these overlapping layers with astonishing accuracy. What once sounded like chaos was suddenly revealed as a finely tuned chorus of meaning, dense, efficient, and deeply intelligent. This breakthrough was hailed as one of the greatest achievements in animal communication research. It didn't just prove that dolphins spoke, it showed that they thought in ways faster and more layered than anything humans had ever imagined. Each discovery pushed the boundaries further. Dolphins didn't just call to one another, they built metaphors, shared culture, and created dialects that mirrored the diversity of human language. They didn't just speak one word at a time. They sang in layers, weaving messages so rich that our best technology barely kept up. And with every revelation came a haunting question. What else are they saying that we have not yet learned to hear? Voices beneath the waves. One of the most captivating moments in this groundbreaking research came when scientists isolated a long, complex sequence exchanged between two elder dolphins. At first, even the powerful AI, Dolphin Gemma, struggled to make sense of it. There was no hunting, no travel, no clear environmental context. It didn't seem to be about food, danger, or movement. But as researchers compared it to similar sequences recorded in other pods, a picture slowly came into focus. The elders weren't describing the present. They were telling a story. It was a layered narrative about a great storm many seasons ago, the shifting of the seabed, the relocation of feeding grounds, and the struggles that followed. Within the sequence were references to dolphins long gone, remembered through sound. There were metaphorical phrases tied to the dance of ocean currents and the shimmer of light beneath the waves. This was no ordinary communication. It was cultural memory, a living archive carried in language, passed from generation to generation. The idea that dolphins were storytellers through both the scientific and philosophical worlds. Because storytelling is not just entertainment, it's the fabric of culture. It's how societies pass on knowledge, values, and identity. If dolphins share legends, historical accounts, or myths, then their world is not only lived, it is remembered, not only experienced, but reflected upon. And the surprises didn't end there. Alongside these long, narrative-like sequences, researchers began detecting structures that looked suspiciously like humor, irony, and even rhetorical flourish. In one striking example, a young dolphin mimicked the unique signature whistle of an older dolphin while describing a failed attempt to catch fish. The pod erupted in a series of rapid staccato bursts, noises the AI identified as laughter equivalents. It was a prank, good-natured teasing, woven directly into their language. This was more than communication. It was perspective-taking, the ability to step into another's identity, to joke, to play. It revealed not only intelligence, but social depth, showing that dolphins were capable of language-driven games, layered with personality and wit. The decoding revealed still more wonders. Scientists found that dolphins could embed spatial and environmental information inside their calls with astonishing precision. Certain whistle sequences acted almost like acoustic maps, three-dimensional sonar blueprints of the ocean floor. To humans, it was the equivalent of describing a place with words and handing over a holographic model at the same time. These map whistles were especially common before long-distance travel, or when younger pod members were introduced to new regions. The AI discovered that these acoustic maps were incredibly consistent across individuals, suggesting that pods maintained a standardized vocabulary of geography, a kind of cartographic dictionary updated and refined over centuries. With this tool, dolphins could navigate vast distances with accuracy, sharing knowledge of safe passages, fertile feeding grounds, and dangerous zones long before encountering them firsthand. It was intelligence perfectly tuned to a fluid, ever-changing world. And then came the discovery that pushed the boundaries even further. Evidence suggested the existence of ocean-wide news networks. Some pods acted as communication hubs, passing information across hundreds of miles. Updates about shifting currents, the movement of predators, or the arrival of massive schools of fish traveled from pod to pod, changing slightly with each retelling, but preserving the core of the message. This was not instinctive alarm calling, it was journalism. A living, vocal network of news, carried not on paper or screens, but on memory and sound. The revelations kept piling up. Dolphin Gemma's decoding also revealed a breathtaking sensitivity to emotional nuance. Dolphins weren't just communicating facts, they were communicating feelings. The AI mapped an entire emotional wheel based on acoustic patterns: joy, anticipation, frustration, curiosity, empathy, and grief. In one heartbreaking example, a calf separated from its mother released a whistle sequence thick with distress markers. Instantly, other pod members responded with layered call tones of reassurance combined with directional signals. These sounds guided the calf back to its mother. This wasn't a simple survival instinct. It was empathy, expressed in a shared emotional language. And then, perhaps the most staggering implication of all, a discovery made entirely by accident. While research drones floated far offshore, they recorded a group of dolphins producing sounds unlike anything ever cataloged before. Long, haunting whistles with rich harmonic overtones filled the water. They repeated in deliberate patterns before shifting back into ordinary conversational whistles. When the AI attempted translation, it proposed something astonishing. The sequence wasn't practical communication at all. It was ceremonial, a kind of ritualized greeting, used when two pods met after many years apart. If true, this was the discovery of a ceremonial register, a formal, possibly sacred layer of dolphin language. Think about that. Not only do dolphins speak with metaphor, humor, and memory, but they also share maps, news, and emotional nuance. They may also conduct rituals, ceremonies, traditions passed through sound, binding them across time and distance. For humans, this was almost unthinkable. For dolphins, it was simply life. The more we listen, the more we realize, beneath the waves lies not just a chorus of noise, but a civilization of voices. These dolphin voices shared stories of the past, jokes, directions, feelings, and even ceremonies. But one mystery remained. How do they keep track of time? Counting the moments. These translation breakthroughs led to another astonishing discovery: how dolphins might actually see time itself. In some of their messages, dolphins spoke about things that had not yet happened: seasonal fish migrations, changes in currents, or storms that were still weeks away. It was as if they could talk about the future with confidence, showing not just awareness of patterns, but a kind of predictive foresight. At the same time, they spoke of long-past events, ancient storms, vanished feeding grounds, and journeys of pods long gone, yet described them in the very same tense as the present. To human ears, it blurred the line between past and now, between memory and reality. This suggested that dolphins might not experience time as a straight line, like humans do. Instead, their sense of time could be fluid, shaped by the eternal cycles of the ocean, the tides, the migrations, the endless return of the seasons. For scientists, this was almost like stepping into an alien consciousness. The emotional weight of these discoveries was overwhelming. Researchers who had spent years hearing what they thought were simple clicks and whistles suddenly realized they had been listening to layered conversations all along. Many described a profound shift inside themselves. The dolphins were no longer just study subjects. They felt like partners, colleagues in a true interspecies exchange. This changed everything about the way the researchers behaved. They moved differently in the water. They spoke more carefully. They even carried themselves with a new respect, as if aware that every sound mattered. The experiments became even more delicate. Instead of commands, scientists began using carefully crafted phrases, acknowledgments, questions, and attempts at dialogue. The dolphins responded thoughtfully, sometimes mirroring the human structure, and sometimes with a playful twist, bending it into something new. But as researchers listened closer, they uncovered something far more unsettling. What exactly did they find? The shocking secrets. Dolphins share memories of migration, hunting, and even ancient landmarks long submerged by rising seas. But as AI analyzed more data, a dark pattern emerged. Across pods, separated by thousands of miles of ocean, the same phenomenon kept appearing in their vocalizations. They called it the deep sound. It wasn't an ancient memory. It wasn't a story from eons past. It was happening now. The deep sound was a modern-day terror, a scream from the very floor of the ocean. The first mentions appeared roughly 75 years ago, subtle at first. But as decades passed, the frequency grew, the urgency increased, the alarm intensified. Herzing's team meticulously isolated every reference, cataloging the time, location, and intensity. Then, using Dolphin Gemma's advanced AI capabilities, they cross-referenced these mentions with global human activity. And the truth was horrifying.
We know that their brain-to-body ratio, which is a physical measure of intelligence, is second only to humans. Cognitively, they can understand artificially created languages.
The deep sound wasn't natural. It wasn't a predator. It wasn't even a geological event. It was us. Our oil drills, our submarine sonar, our deep-sea mining machinery, all of it. The massive, low-frequency noise of human industry is spreading across the oceans. To us, it's just background hum, a mechanical echo in a vast world. To dolphins, it is a cataclysm. Their entire existence depends on sound. They navigate, hunt, socialize, and even understand their environment through a delicate balance of acoustic signals. And all that balance was shattered. The AI went further, translating the context of these deep sound messages. And what it revealed was more than just frustration or discomfort. The dolphins weren't simply complaining. They were describing the collapse of their world. Thousands of fragmented messages from dolphins across the globe were pieced together into a single coherent statement. It was clear, it was unified, and it was a warning. Dolphins perceive the world in ways humans cannot. They sense magnetic fields. They navigate thousands of miles using the Earth's invisible magnetic lines. Their intelligence is vast, and now, for the first time, they were speaking directly to us, signaling that we were threatening the very foundations of life beneath the waves. And then, the theories began to multiply. Some researchers suggest that dolphins are not just passive observers, they are guardians of the planet. A species evolved, or perhaps was placed here, to monitor and maintain balance. They are custodians, and the deep sound is their alarm bell. Not a plea, but a call to action, long overdue. Others take it even further. Ancient myths, decoded by Dolphin Gemma, tell of a great sleeper beneath the earth, a massive, possibly biological entity that has lain dormant for eons. Could our relentless industrial pounding, the sonar, the drills, the machinery, be waking it? Could our noise act like a drumbeat, an unintentional signal? In this version of reality, the dolphins' alarm is pure, unfiltered terror. They are warning us, begging us to stop, not because of us, not because of the oceans, but because something ancient and powerful is stirring deep beneath the planet's crust. And the revelations don't stop there. Dolphins communicate with other species. Orcas, blue whales, and even octopuses all have intelligence, awareness, and memory. Blue whale songs travel thousands of miles. And maybe they are saying something too. But what do we, as humans, do with these warnings? How will we respond? And when the moment comes, what choices will we make? The choice we make. We may be standing at the edge of something humanity has never faced before, an unprecedented event, a gathering of voices from across species, a conversation that stretches across the entire planet. For centuries, humans have crowned themselves the rulers of Earth, the dominant voice, the ultimate authority. But now, for the first time, we may be forced to realize that we are not alone in carrying wisdom, and we are not the only voice worth hearing. The findings of Dolphin Gemma, the revolutionary AI model decoding dolphin communication, have placed humanity at a crossroads. What we've uncovered is more than sound, more than whistles and clicks. It's a language, a living record, a mirror reflecting truths we have ignored. For the first time in history, we have the chance to hear the planet itself speak back to us through one of its oldest, most intelligent inhabitants. The opportunity is breathtaking, but it also carries a crushing weight. Because within these messages lies a sobering warning. The dolphin's first clear statement is simple and devastating. We are the problem. Think about that. After all the centuries of exploration, invention, and progress, the very creatures we thought of as playful, friendly companions are telling us that we have become the danger, that our noise is drowning out their songs, that our industries are poisoning their seas. Our hunger for resources is shaking the balance of life on Earth. So the question becomes, what do we do with this knowledge? Do we stop? Do we pause our relentless drilling, mining, and extraction? Do we silence, even for a moment, the engines that thunder across the oceans and fill their waters with chaos? Do we choose to change, to reshape human industry, to reduce the harm before it's too late? Or do we ignore them? Do we laugh it off as a coincidence, as overinterpretation, as just another scientific puzzle without consequence? Do we continue along our well-worn path of greed and denial, hoping that somehow the dolphins are wrong, that their warning is misplaced? This is no longer a distant what if. It's not science fiction. It is here, now. The deep sound, the mysterious recurring pattern mentioned in dolphin communication, is not simply an echo in the ocean. It is a reflection of us, of our choices, our arrogance, our refusal to recognize intelligence that does not look like us, think like us, or live like us, yet may understand far more about balance, survival, and the cost of destruction. The discovery of Dolphin Gemma marks a dividing line in history. The world before this moment and the world after it are two completely different places. Before, we saw ourselves as masters of the planet. After, we must face the truth that the planet has been speaking all along, and we simply weren't listening. We have been handed a message, a warning, a plea. The ocean itself is speaking, carried on the voices of dolphins who have lived, thrived, and endured long before humans ever walked the earth. Now the choice lies with us. Do we listen? Do we change? Do we finally recognize that wisdom is not owned by humanity alone? The decision is ours. The future is ours. The choice is the one we make today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.